Hello there, Ray here, and over the course of the last 6 months that 1.19 been developed, I collected a list of strange yet interesting things that secretly made it into the update. Most goats in the game will have 2 horns, but there is a 10% chance that goats will spawn in with just a single horn. Despite changes in 1.19, where they made it so TNT exploding will no longer drop XPs from blocks if it's not lit by player means, this does not affect furnaces that have smelted down items. They still drop their XP. The Allay mob is one of just a handful of mobs that don't actually drop any XP when you kill them. These cages that are part of the outposts often contain iron golems, but with 1.19 they can also contain allays, but the problem is this cage isn't like a normal cage. If you look inside, you can actually see we got some glitched out fence posts here as well as here. It's as if these fence posts are attaching to an invisible block that is right here. And something cool you can do is actually remove the other blocks around it, and this fence won't actually change. Also, it may seem like these allays are trapped in this cage, but they can actually escape. All they have to do is actually go through this hole that's right above it. So if you just hook them onto a lead and pull them up, they'll slip right on out. So they're actually not captured at all. On the panorama screen here, there is a bunch of mangrove trees shown in the mangrove swamp biome. But mangrove swamps in game don't actually look like this. The trees are much closer together in this one. That's because after they made the panorama, they came in and decided to space the trees out a bit more. But the panorama was never updated. On top of that, this also shows over here that there is actually some dark areas in the root block. This is a bug that was actually in the early snapshots and was here when they took this screenshot of the panorama, but they never actually removed it. Besides all the new cool blocks in the mangrove swamps, they also have dead bushes. In the Minecraft code, frogs are specifically programmed to like to jump to lily pads as well as drip leaves more than any other blocks. Tadpoles will panic near axolotl. That is because axolotls will actually chase these guys down and kill the little tadpoles. Minecraft added in a whole bunch of different types of really useful features when moving your cursor around when using signs and books, including the new feature of using Ctrl plus backspace to delete an entire word, and using Ctrl plus home to move the cursor from the center of text all the way to the top left. Prior to 1.19, it wasn't possible to break 5 blocks below you when in the swimming mode. This is because when you would try to break the last block, you would break it, but the server would think you did not break it and would just place it back again. And now you're able to break it and actually drop it as an item. Typically, sprinting in Minecraft is difficult because you have to reach all the way down on your keyboard to hit the control key. Unless you're like Mumbo Jumbo and you reach across with your thumb, which is even worse yet. But those days of poorly ergonomic keyboard sprinting are over because now they added it. You can actually go into your controls and change your sprint key to the caps lock key, which is much easier to reach on your keyboard than way down to where the control key is, which also gives you the added bonus of sometimes typing in all caps. Or you can just play on a custom controller like me while using an oddly set up keyboard that is strapped to the underside of your chair that is completely upside down. They now added it so when you click the Create New World, brief message pops up before it takes you to the Create New World page. This message says preparing for world creation, allowing the game time to show all these features. They added it so light, which is a useful block for creative players, can no longer be destroyed by withers or ender dragons. They also did this for the new reinforced deep slate, and on top of that made it so it's not possible for this thing to be replaced by other features in the game, all indicating that this portal is very important and they don't want anything to break it. So we might be seeing a 4th dimension in 1.20 or above. With the new music disc, which you can find in ancient cities, it means there is now a total of 15 music discs, and each music disc has a unique redstone signal if you put it inside of a jukebox and have a comparator read the output. With the first disc having a signal strength of 1, that means the brand new one has a signal strength of 15, and this is as high as the redstone goes. So if any more music discs are added into the game, you won't be able to detect them with redstone. But for now, we can still use my automatic music disc sorter to sort them all out individually, with the new disc being in the very last slot. With the new mangrove logs, if you choose to have bonus chests added in when you start the game, they can also be found here as loot in the bonus chest. The how do we get here advancement, and where you have to get every single effect in the game at once, also needs the new darkness effect. Also, the 2x2 advancement needs frogs, and the venture time needs the mangrove swamps. You might know that now when you break down any type of minecart or boat with a chest or anything else will drop as a single item, but did you know that when it comes to crafting these things up, the recipe is now shapeless, meaning you can put this anywhere on your crafting grid and it will still work. You might know that frogs spawn in the swamps as well as the mangrove swamps, but the blocks they spawn on is quite unusual, consisting of grass blocks, roots, even mud, and even the muddy roots. Frogs aren't immune to fall damage, but they do take reduced fall damage, so they can jump really high and land without eventually dying. Catalyst can convert nearby blocks into sculk blocks, which there is a total of 49 unique blocks that can be converted. The mangrove tree is only the second tree to spawn in with vines, right after the big jungle trees. Goats will drop their horn if they hit something hard, but only these blocks here are considered the proper blocks. With the new mud block, which allows the player to sink down inside of it, just like soul sand, the game needs to come in with a special tag which lets snow layers be able to be placed on top of it, similar to soul sand as well as honey blocks. What's really crazy with snow layers and honey is that with a single layer you can jump right up, but if you put 2 layers in, you can actually bump against the collision of the bottom side of the snow layer, which is the only place this ever occurs. But the game is specifically coded so you cannot place snow layers on barriers, ice, packed ice, but you can actually put them on blue ice. Like swamp biomes, mangrove swamps can also spawn in slime mobs, and it's completely based off of the moon cycle, with the full moon producing the most amount. The deep dark is supposed to be a scary spot, and supposedly mineshafts were not scary enough because they specifically coded it in the Minecraft code that mineshafts cannot be generated inside the deep dark biome. Frogs that grow up in different temperature biomes will produce different colors when they turn into adults. And here in the nether dimension, all the biomes are considered warm, where all the end dimension biomes are considered cold. With the new mangrove swamps, they specifically made it so that buried treasure maps will show this new biome as not land, but instead of water. This white area here is land, where this orange striped area is represented as water, which the mangrove swamp is. 1.19 comes with a change for cats. That is, every single cat is now not considered a different number by their different type, but are now given proper names. Like this cat is a variant of Persian, so now you can call them by their official names, being tabby, black, red, Siamese, British shorthair, calico, Persian, ragdoll, white, and jelly. Although the warden's attack is often referred to as the sonic boom, when you're killed by it, it's referred to as sonically charged shriek, as if all the spirits are bursting out of the warden and coming at you at full might, but it's still considered a warden kill in the statistics. 1.19 comes with 4 new paintings. There is fire, water, earth, and wind. Although these paintings are 2x2, you can only get them in creative by using this command here. We've all seen these Minecraft splash text up here in the corner, but there used to be this one saying "Hello Russia," but it was removed in 1.19, probably because of the ongoing conflict. Speaking of splashes, we also got some brand new ones unique to 1.19. This is Shriek Like a Skulk Shrieker, Who Let the Frogs Out, Ribbit, Croak Team, No, Flower Forest, TM Perfume, and Hat Fridays. The Ancient Cities provides tons of unique blocks that don't show up anywhere else naturally in the game. One of the most prominent is the skeleton skull, which shows up in these pillars. This could be remnants of the previous dwellers who all died off. This solid structure with a pile of wool, oddly enough, has a unlit campfire in the very center, which you would never known about unless you dug deep into it. Why it's there might seem odd at first, but once you learn that this structure is called the camp, it makes sense that back in the day, when dwellers were here, they tried to enclose themselves off with wool to prevent the warden from attacking them at their campsite. But like all the ancient ruins here, it eventually all crumbled in on itself. The icebox with its secure trapdoor, and the food supply from the previous dwellers. It may seem like the perfect place to try to hide from the warden, but the warden can actually spawn inside of this place due to the lack of light and snow layers. With there being 8 unique goat horn sounds, they seem to have references like the THX intro song, and this one called Dream, which sounds like George saying, "Oh Dream."
Oh Dream.
But oddly enough, in Bedrock Edition, it's not called Dream, but Resist, at least for the time being. Right with the release of 1.19 on June 7th, they also came out saying that you no longer have to choose between Java and Bedrock Edition when purchasing the game. Instead, you will get both of them in one bundle. And even cooler yet, if you own a Java Edition account, you'll automatically get Bedrock for free now. And if you already own Bedrock, you will now get a Java account for free. You'll have to get your allays from cages in 1.19.0, but the next version, we're actually able to have allays duplicate. This is done by having a lay hear a jukebox, and while it's dancing to it, give it an amethyst shard, and then it will split into 2 of them, but you can only do this every 2.5 minutes. Now check out my playlist all about new 1.19 farms, or this one about other Minecraft secrets. And we're so close to 350 subs, so hit that button, as well as turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out on my tutorial videos of my farms. I put tens of hours into each video, so make sure you guys leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!